You're telling me if a woman who is trying her hardest, who has been training her whole life on this athletic sport, is losing to a grown man, I don't care about that music. If you're telling me that a woman that worked her whole life off to do whatever sport and a grown man comes in and does that sport against her and wins, it's because she was on easy mode? Or like that's crazy.
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on.
No. You're absolutely tripping.
Did not get harder because she won a Nobel Prize. You know what I'm saying? Or do you think that?
He valued her more. Because
you don't know that.
She had more knowledge.
Died horribly of cancer, but that's not actually.
Ladies, if you're out there, keep your money up. Work hard for yourself, girl.
Care for you.
Don't let these men think it doesn't matter because it does.
So,
are we talking about all men when we say this?
It's very simple.
In
general,
because men are trying to play women's sports now, so times are changing.
Sorry, you said what? Men are trying to
playing women's sports these days, so times are changing.
Yeah, because women live life on easy mode, which brings me back to my point.
Yeah,
the bottom line is this: women live life on easy mode, and their accomplishments are not as important as a man's accomplishments because a woman doesn't have to be accomplished to be attractive. So that's why I say getting advice from a woman could be valid, but their perspective isn't as valid because it's extremely limited because they don't go through the same trials and tribulations that men do.
Different.
So in general, most women are not in a position to dispense advice to you as a man about life. For example, if I have 20,000 women, I could put them in the military and have them go fight. But what's better, 20,000 women in infantry or 20,000 men in infantry? The men are going to be better.
Wakanda you would have 0 if it wasn't for women. You would have no men or women.
It was a woman already.
That's not the argument. What I'm saying is that just because something is capable does not mean that it's optimal. So if I want the best advice as a man, I'm going to go deal with another man and talk to him about that because more than likely our experiences are going to align. Women a lot of the times don't have the same experience. So she's got to be an exceptional female a lot of the times to be in a position to give me advice as a man because women don't live the same existence as men and women live life on easy mode.
So you're basically saying there's a gray area.
Why are guys?
I just don't think that's true.
Because they can't compete in men's sports, so they're going to the women's sports.
Yes, but why? Hold on.
That's the point.
That proves my point even more.
Yeah.
Why are guys switching their gender over to compete in female sports? Because they know that women are physically inferior, they're slower, they're weaker, they're not as good at athletic capability and coordination, etc. And the men go over there and they absolutely destroy them, even though they're on testosterone suppressants, they're getting their hormones blocked, and they're still fucking women up. So if that doesn't prove that women live life on easy mode, even when it comes to the concept of sports and athletics and competition, I don't know what does. If you take chess players, you take Formula 1 drivers, there's no strength difference.
So you're telling me,
I get your point.
I got a question. I got a real serious question. So you're telling me if a woman who is trying her hardest, who has been training her whole life on this athletic sport, is losing to a grown man, I don't care about that music. If you're telling me that a woman that worked her whole life off to do whatever sport and a grown man comes in and does that sport against her and wins, it's because she was on easy mode? Or that's crazy.
Yes.
Hold on. You're absolutely tripping. You're absolutely tripping because I know bitches that can hoop you and dunk on you all day. But if I'm go ahead. I'll let you say what you gotta say.
If you win the retard Olympics, it doesn't matter because you're still a fucking retard. Okay? If you win the WNBA,
but we're not talking about retard Olympics. We're talking about real sports.
That's what I'm trying to say. If you win a WNBA championship, it's irrelevant because you won a WNBA championship. You didn't win an NBA championship at the highest level.
But you got men coming in winning WNBA championships. So now what are you saying?
Hold on. That is my point.
Are you upset? No, don't get upset.
No, I'm not upset.
Be logical.
I'm just literally astonished by your level of stupidity. What I'm saying is that women have their own leagues and they must play in easy mode because they're inferior to men in almost every physical.
That doesn't
Let me help you with this. So he's saying easy mode, and I think you have a problem with easy mode. Correct. Candace Parker probably whooped my ass at basketball. But an average NBA player who transitioned to become a woman would be the MVP of the WNBA.
Yeah,
that's my point.
But how does that mean that the woman is on easy mode because somebody you got Shaquille O'Neal want to put a wig on and play NBA, play WNBA. Now women is on easy mode because you got
compared to men. It's significantly easier.
I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna wait for the stats to come out.
You don't like the description of easy mode, but like generally, in general, and again, I'm not saying this to denigrate women, but the fastest woman in the world is slower than a high school sprinter in Texas.
Yes, but she probably does that mean that she's on easy mode?
We're gonna go to science and talk about this. The way her body is.
You're stuck on the term easy mode. Get off the term easy mode.
Help me.
Easier. Would that work? Does easier work?
No.
But what does that have to do with
sports? She has to put in the same amount of work.
It's the same training.
A woman athlete's not putting in less work.
What are you saying?
Actually, she does not put the same amount of work in because men can train at a way higher capacity for far longer.
You're talking about capacity versus easy mode.
So, no, but that's what I'm trying to say. She's trying to say they put in the same amount of work. No, they don't.
So because your Xbox got more space than my Xbox, I'm on easy mode.
What if we go to the
My
next question?
capacity isn't as big as yours.
No.
Your life is not as
You
big
missed the
as
point.
mine.
An average man can come into your sport and win. An average man.
Are you aware that Serena Williams lost to like the 200 ranked guy when he was hungover?
But that's a guy
and that's
versus a girl.
woman at the pinnacle.
But are you saying? But was that on easy mode or was a guy coming into a girl's sport and should have been playing with a guy?
For Serena
what would
Williams,
happen if he played a guy though?
For Serena Williams to compete against other women in general, the women's sport is easier than it is for men in a vacuum. Do you not? You disagree?
I don't disagree, but I'm just trying to understand why if I'm a man. And I know my capacity. Why won't I just play tennis with a man? Why am I playing with Serena Williams?
No, you're trying to. We're using hypotheticals, and you're not paying attention to what we're saying. What we're saying is it's easy. I know
it's funny y'all get to use hypotheticals when y'all want to, but then when y'all asking us a question, no, we're using stats.
I think
Atlanta.
It was misinterpreted in that they had said easy mode at one point, but I don't think they actually mean that women are competing in.
I think I'm just stuck on the easy mode thing. You're probably right. I'm gonna let it go.
Look. Female sports in general is easy mode because it's the easiest level of human.
Serena could beat you, bro.
Am I a tennis player? I'm not a tennis player.
But that's easy mode.
I'm not a tennis player.
You're an average guy. You said an average guy would hang up, but bro,
I didn't say an average guy. I said a guy ranked 200. See, here, hold on. Look.
Go ahead.
We're gonna have this discussion. Okay, you want to actually have a conversation here? You need to pay attention to what we're saying. Okay, because I was very explicit and I said the 200 ranked guy hungover beat Serena Williams. Don't just take part of what I'm saying and throw out the others because everything matters in context. What you be doing. Because you're just arguing to argue now at this point.
I'm just trying to use the logic and try to pinpoint the points.
Because I have respect for what you're saying because I'm actually writing down the stupidity that you're saying so I can actually rebut it. So if you're gonna go ahead and make a comment back,
let me get a notepad.
Pay attention.
Let me get a notepad.
Hold on, stop. See, you're just talking to talk.
No, I'm not. I'm asking for a notepad. So
okay, we'll give it to you. We probably won't write anything anyway. But the point I'm trying to make is this. If you're going to go ahead and argue something against me, listen to what the fuck I say and then actually rebut what I said. Don't go ahead and make a general statement off something that I didn't say. What I'm simply saying is that women's sports in itself is easy mode.
I just don't understand how. So I'm going to stay dumb. I'm going to just be dumb because I don't understand how. We just go ahead and
do not understand that even if a man goes in, transgender, right? Mm-hmm. Goes in there, takes hormone suppressants, etc., limits himself, he still is better than 99% of the women in that sport. If that doesn't prove that females have it on easy mode, I don't know what does.
Transformers are faster than cars on the street.
There we go. And apparently she just won the argument with a Transformers reference. Incredible. Checkmate.
And I got
this is what I mean when I say that you just literally proved my point now that women don't have to make it through life and be competent whatsoever. You literally just embarrass yourself.
That's because men don't evaluate it.
You can't embarrass me.
I don't. No, you embarrass yourself.
Can we try like a different thing? Because sports is just one of the characteristics here. I just try to be as objective as possible here. A yacht in Monaco. This is to say there's a $40 million yacht out there. Mm-hmm. And we're all partying in Monaco, whatever. The likelihood of me getting on the yacht versus the likelihood of a woman getting on the yacht. What's higher?
This guy's making sense. Me. That makes sense.
It's more likely a woman. Okay.
All of us is getting on the yacht before any of y'all get on the yacht.
And you realize that he's about to set you up for another L,
That's
right?
fine. Let's go. I'm ready.
The thing is, in order for me to get invited on the yacht, I have to do something exceptional.
Like making $500 million a year.
$500 million a year or whatever. Yeah. Or even have a yacht that pulls up next to your yacht and it's just as big and I join you. Or I have to have 50 girls with me versus one guy to get on the yacht. Yeah. Or I have to have business deals, maybe B2B business where I work with the guys who own the yacht. Do you see the accomplishments I need to make to get on the yacht versus the accomplishments you need to make to get on the yacht? Does that make sense?
I think I spelled accomplishments wrong, but yes.
I have a question. Wouldn't it be like men have it on easy mode because y'all are more naturally physically inclined, so women have to work against their nature?
But the problem is we have to compete against other men. No, right. I understand what you're saying. Like we're stronger, but we also have to compete against other men.
The average man has 0 bodies.
Yes. So, but which is even more proof. Those are the people left behind.
You're doing
surplus
good, bro.
men. You're doing really good.
So it all depends on what category we're talking about.
But it's the men who are sexless are proof that men competing with other men makes our arena more difficult. The sexual floor for a woman, there's a great book on this called Why Women Have Sex by David Buss and Sidney Messon. With the floor for a woman on average, even if she's very unattractive, is above 1. She can have sex. The girl at the trailer park who's obese will still have sexual partners. A guy who has nothing going for him, is below average in height, and makes, say, less than $39,000 a year, if he doesn't take drastic steps
Yeah.
to improve his life, he will go the remainder of his life. Granted, he doesn't pay for a prostitute. He will have no sex.
Yeah.
And that's not, by the way, that's not conjecture. He will legitimately have no sexual encounters whatsoever.
Got you. Somehow that helped me understand everything you were saying.
But what you're
He just literally proved that women live life on easy mode in another facet. I did it through sports. He proved it through social hierarchies of being able
sports
to
was
get
a really bad
in certain
example.
situations.
That was just a really bad
Well, I brought
example.
it up. I was blaming you because I was the one who brought it up.
It's the most clear-cut
It
example
was just a bad
of female
analogy.
inferiority.
I understand you now. He helped.
what you're speaking about
Okay, you know what? How about let's use you. You go on OnlyFans, right?
Yes,
You
I
have
do.
4 real estate properties that you probably bought from selling your butthole on the internet.
Oh my
Me, on the other
God.
hand, I have 14
Lord have
properties. I had to build
mercy.
up a platform. I had to be really entertaining, have a podcast at 1 million plus subscribers, etc. We pretty much got to somewhat the same area, but I had to be way more competent in my field to actually get to where I'm at right now. So please explain to me how that
I
doesn't
started
represent easy
OnlyFans
mode.
last year. I got my first 3 doors before I started OnlyFans.
And how'd you do that?
How'd you do that?
I did it the way you're supposed to do it. I
Such
did my
as?
research. I got investors. I traveled. I did
How'd
my,
you get those investors?
by going to meetings, networking, doing probably the same
And they
thing you
gave
taught
money.
about.
No, they gave you money?
I actually watched one of your shows, and some of the advice you gave, I knew probably when I was like 19.
Oh, okay.
So you're saying all this stuff. I'm 30 now. I just started OnlyFans like when I was 28. So all of the other stuff, I had some doors already. So
And
all
how'd you
that
get
other
the
stuff,
capital for those doors?
I got the capital from.
You said you had investors. How'd you get those investors?
Okay, so I grew up in Baltimore, and I have a lot of family who does really good things, and we go to like different banquets and things like that. And when you're old enough, they'll say, "Hi, this is my daughter. She's into real estate. Aren't you an investor?" So little things like that. So maybe I am living life on easy mode,
Yeah.
and that's
Easy mode,
perfectly
yeah.
fine.
It's
But
fine. We're not
easy,
complaining.
easy mode or not, I can still learn how to do
So,
just as much as you guys
Are you
can
guys
do.
saying
come on.
men don't get that
Here's the thing,
out
two things.
the window?
Booty hole or
Hold on,
not,
two
and
things.
I'm gonna buy another house with this booty hole.
Privilege,
I'll give you an
hold
example,
on.
right?
Privilege is
Maybe
invisible to
2
those
more
that
houses
have
with
it.
a booty
What she
hole.
doesn't want to admit that she a female. Investors went ahead and invested in her because she's a female.
I'll give
No,
you an
it
example.
wasn't because
Like,
I didn't even know. I
Hold on.
wasn't even sexy or nothing yet. I
I'll
was
give
like
you an example.
not even looking like this or none of
I
that.
spent 2 years
Mhm.
Goddamn.
working overtime at my job.
I feel so bad that you have to do so much more work than me. I know what you're getting
It's
at.
fine. Just to make enough money to buy a property.
Mm-hmm.
I had an investor friend of mine that took me around, same networking events that you went to probably,
Mm-hmm.
right? Met investors, realtors,
Mm-hmm.
people that own property. And they said, yeah, this is my friend Walter. He's very inclined to get real estate, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't get opportunities like you got. I had to work my ass off, and then I bought it, which is fine. But we're just saying easy mode is what you have. That's it.
Okay, but can I also say this? I've been working since I was 16, so not that money didn't just come out of thin air on my asshole. So y'all can say what y'all want, but y'all got stats, and I got stats, and I got receipts, and I got everything I need,
but
and everything.
We're not arguing that you don't work. We're just
No,
saying
I
easy
get
mode
that.
is what you have.
And that's
You would
fine.
not have been able to do certain things that you've been able to do if you were a male.
But
That's what
I
we're trying
also
to say.
have male counterparts like brothers and cousins who got more doors than me, who's younger than me. So all that stuff you
And they
saying,
had to work harder than you more than
But
likely.
can I
to
ask
get
you
the
no,
a
they
same
went to the
question?
same
Do
banquets
you
that I went
guys
to.
think that if guys were given easy mode, that they would present themselves like strong, independent men, though?
That's
No,
not
I
argument.
don't think it was like this on
Okay,
that.
That's not what we're trying to say.
Can I
Hold on.
talk?
But let's take her argument. I appreciate being on that wall. I appreciate the fact that I get to serve my country.
Right.
I appreciate the fact that in a room full of people, I'm the first person someone's going to look to pull a child out of a burning car. I do not shy away from that responsibility and obligation.
Exactly.
I don't think any of the men here are complaining about the fact that you're living on easy mode because we built a world where you get to live on easy mode. The point is like what Myron says, people who have privilege don't recognize their privilege. It's invisible to you when you have it. That's the only thing that we're trying to bring up.
But
Does that
what
make sense?
about-
We're not victims because we get to work. I love the fact that I get to work. I love the fact that my family is never going to have to worry about medical bills or where they're going to live for
I
the
love
rest
that
of their
for you.
lives
As you
because I
should.
bust my ass. I love that. So we're not shying away from that.
I love that.
But the point is, going back to what he said before, like the thing is, he's using the word easy mode, which I think might be a triggering word for you. It's easier, is what he's saying, and you have certain advantages that we don't have. We're not complaining, and to what she said, you're absolutely right. That's what makes us harder. But there's a certain group of men that are inundated with pornography.
Yeah.
They're inundated with video games.
Yeah.
They're inundated with these other things that where now their life becomes on easy mode.
Yeah.
And then they just
Yeah.
lose all motivation and they become overweight and then they end up
And that's who this,
But that would sound like how you were saying like Darwinism.
That's who this $39,000 a year person is.
Yes.
Like, and that's the thing. That's the real epidemic here. Because if you're not going to have if you're not going to have men who are working really hard, who are raising up society, then why would women have to hold
there are
themselves
men
to
who
a high
work very
standard?
hard who also make $39,000 a year.
I agree. I agree.
Some of those, it's not a function of men working hard.
I'm just using that as example.
for sure.
That was basically
putting
my
in work
question.
and getting something out of it, not necessarily just monetarily, but putting in effort and getting something out.
I think you guys have an issue with me using the term easy mode, and I'm not going to take my foot off the pedal with that. You guys do live life on easy mode because whatever endeavor you want to get into, whether it's sports, there's a female league for you, which is inferior to the male league. If you guys want to go ahead and get into the job market, there's affirmative action that will let you get into that job market, even though you might not be as qualified as a man. Whether we want to talk about dating or relationships, it's easy mode because you're able to go ahead and attract the opposite gender while bringing relatively nothing to the table. Women live life on easy mode in almost every single facet of human endeavor in 2023. And here's the thing. I'm not mad about it. I'm just acknowledging it. But if I acknowledge it, I'm considered an asshole, misogynist, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is we can't go on OnlyFans and make a bunch of money like a lot of you guys are with zero platform. Men have to be able to do something to provide some kind of value to be able to make money.
But
Women,
who
on the
said
other hand,
that's
hold on.
easy?
Women, on the other hand, can just monetize their sexuality fairly quickly if they're attractive enough. So what I'm saying is simply this. Women have more opportunities to do certain things that men will never get, and men must earn everything that they get. Women don't have to. They can choose to go ahead and earn if they want. Women want to become a doctor, become successful, she can. But she always has the ability to go ahead and find a rich man or get into sex work or whatever else that will make her money quick and easy.
Do you think that there's any guys living on easy mode, though?
Sure, yeah, they're born rich or
I live on easy mode right fucking now.
Good.
But it's going to take a lifetime of work. So what I would tell my son is the brutal reality of the world. Life is going to be really fucking hard, really fucking unfair, and you better start competing right now real fast because everything you want in this world, you're going to have to take it. You're going to have to fucking take it, G. And so my kids are going to have a ruthless disadvantage over everybody else's sons because in the world where I have sons, I'm raising my sons against the bullshit you said you're going to tell your sons. My sons are going to be ruthless and they're going to own your sons. And that's why single women, they raise these boys and it kind of sets them up because if there's not a strong father in the house, the son is at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be ugly. It's going to be brutal. It's not going to be okay. You will suffer like a motherfucker if you don't get to work. You better compete and compete early and compete often. Every day you wake up, you're in competition. It's ruthless out there. It is nature.
No, that's legit.
I'm so glad I'm not a man.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because with that, with easy mode, you get once you build yourself up to get yourself in easy mode, you get to take care of a family. You get to have a wife and kids. You get to do these things. I don't think those broke motherfuckers should get to have kids at all. I don't feel bad for them. Get mad or play ball.
I agree.
You think I feel sorry for some fucking dude that's beating his dick to porn tonight? Hell no. Because I'm gonna fuck his sister. So I don't care. Right? But it's a brutal reality of the world.
Chris. I wanted to say something to what you said.
It's a brutal reality of life.
Because
it's really important, and that's why Myron and Walt do this show. What they're doing and what they've been doing for the past 2 hours, hour and a half, is pointing out the reality of the world. I don't think that makes you ladies bad people at all. Your experience is going to be a little different, and it's also going to tie into some primal things that you actually want.